Hi, and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve. We're at my house today, and accompanied by one pack of gnomes. I got lots.
These aren't your Christmas gnomes. These are your everyday gnomes.
These are my, yeah, these are my...
Patriotic gnomes.
Yeah, they have a theme. I had a couple with red, white, and blue. This guy is unpainted, but he says USA, so I should paint him.
And the wood one.
The wooden one needs to be painted too, but... So those are my...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Someday I'll paint them. But I think Eve's going first.
Yeah, let me turn this off so it doesn't waste battery. So it's Friday, so I always work on my temperature charts on Friday. So I think the last time we filmed it was a Thursday, so I hadn't.
I know we're a big mess.
Done anything yet? Yeah, it's Friday because it was my birthday. We're gonna go do fun stuff tomorrow. So
yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I've shown you this far yet, but that's how far I am on this. I don't know if it's how far I'll be when we finish filming and I take a picture, because I'm debating which pattern to work on right now. And
that is your temperature.
I'm sorry, my brain is not functioning. It's too hot. Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts 2023 Temperature SAL. I am so anxious to finish this. Not because I want to get it off of my plate, but because it's so pretty. I want to have it done. But I told myself just on Friday, because I don't have enough time to do the stuff I have to do. And if I'm not working on that right now while we film, I will be working on this, which is Stitching Mommy's Temperature Turtles. And this is exactly how it was when we filmed last Thursday, because it's up till Thursday. It's not done Friday. I looked at it and went, that's not far enough. So I'll have to be updating that. But I brought my tablet so that I could do it. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll probably end up working on the turtles. The funny thing is that I always gather the temperatures for the week and then work on this one instead of this one. So we'll see. We'll see which one I start with. Other than that, I have not really done a lot. I worked some on my August cross stitch camp piece, and what is this called? It's by Scattered Seed Samplers, designed by somebody. I'm sorry, I know, and I can't think of it. Tammy Black. And this is Little Berry Thief Pin Keep. And as I work on this, by the way, I'm not where I was stitching before, with a coffee table right in front of me where I can put things.
Yeah.
And so it's basically on my lap, and every 5 seconds something is falling on the floor. It's terrible. Anyway, I am a lot further on this. I'm not anywhere near done. But
Birdie, are you going to make it a quail?
I think so. Even if I have to take that out and move it. I just,
it's cute.
I love his little happy, I went ahead and put some white around there. It doesn't look exactly like that. And even though it's a square, it looks like a triangle.
His eye, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. The eye and the pattern, he looks kind of scared. So I'm good with it. I might take the white out and try it again, but I don't know. Probably not. So the problem is when I'm stitching on something, like when I was doing the bird, I was like, I'm tired of this color. I want to do something else. That's how come there's a little bit of green done. and down here on the bowl, and you know, I'm going back and forth in this dark color. By the way, that color, because this is 18 count fabric. I'm doing it with 2 threads, not one. I considered one, but I decided that that would make me crazy, so I'm doing 2 threads. And after the first pass through, when I'm going back the other way, I can't see where the stitches are, because the color is so dark and the squares are so little, and I'm just kind of going, did I cross that one already? I don't know. And I'm going to the light. I don't know. Anyway.
You need one of these neck lights.
I have one. It's packed up now, but I mean, maybe it's in the closet. Remember you bought Dad one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that one. But the problem is I stitch up here.
Yeah.
So, and then I did a lot of work on, not as much as I wanted to, but I did a lot of work on Robin. And the part that I'm working on right now is a blended thread, and I did it, and I did the little bit down here, and I was gonna take it off the needle so that I could go on to the next color, and I went, that's not the right blending.
Oh, no.
So I had to take it all out and start it again. I'm sorry. Robin by Maria Branco, Cute Patterns by Maria. This is not one of her easy patterns, and she does put easy, intermediate, advanced. That's not the right word.
Intermediate's right.
I said intermediate.
Oh.
I said something, it wasn't intermediate. Anyway, she puts level of skill on her patterns, but something like this, that one of her advanced ones that has all of this texture and all that, there's quite a few blends. It's all DMC, but I have, not completely, but I have almost completely finished all of the single color threads, and everything else is blended. So, and you know, when you're working with blended threads, you know, you want to cut them all exactly the same length, but then when you finish that blended thread and you have to use some of the same color in another one, it's short. You know? So it can be frustrating, but I am going to move on to when witches go riding, which is, I have it with me and have the tablet. I could work on it. I don't want to.
What's that?
Well, I was going to talk about that.
What's that?
So
looks pretty.
Pam, Stitching in the Land with Good Enough, in the Land of Good Enough, she is doing Owl Forest Embroideries 2024 SAL, and the pattern is free, and it's mushrooms, and it's just so cute. And I wanted to go look at the pattern. Now, I know the pattern is free. I just wanted to see how far they have gotten, to see if I wanted to go ahead and download it now or wait until they are done and then get it, because I really like it. It's big, you know, like this, and it is absolutely the cutest thing. Maybe I'll get a picture of it and put it here. Anyway, while I was there, the very first thing before the SAL was this, and I'm sorry, I don't read Russian, but it's cranes. And it's beautiful. And it's charted to be on 32 count Murano Corée. Now that's a big piece. It's bigger than we ever used to get it at Hobby Lobby, but I know I can get Murano Corée on Etsy, so maybe I can get
Or
it.
the attic, could you get a piece this big from that?
Probably not Murano Corée, but I could get a 32 count fabric, large. Like
That is
Isn't it gorgeous?
gorgeous.
Isn't it beautiful? And you know what?
Oh my god.
I always like when we drive through that area over there, you know, when you take it's not a shortcut, it's just easier to get to McDonald's from here because the way the roads
cranes that live along the little canal there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When you see them, you're like, oh, they're so beautiful.
That is so cool.
Isn't it?
I love the subtle light blue on blue.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And of course,
You've done stuff with them before, Owl
Yeah,
Forest and
she
Verdant.
bought the kits.
The two little ones I did,
The whale and
the whale I haven't finished yet. The Monster Wonder whale. It's
Yeah.
a bigger one.
that's
I haven't
neat.
finished that.
It's like, it looks familiar.
Yeah, and
That's
the other
gorgeous.
two were
Yeah.
the elephant and pug and
The ant.
ant and
Something.
And because we're
Ant and
wasp,
something.
not wasp. That's a movie.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Some of the bugs.
because we're in flux right now. As a matter of fact, I probably would have said, "Oh no, we can." No, Robert wants to photograph that room, and he does not want us in his way. Whenever he gets up, because he photographed the living room yesterday,
Oh, nice.
but he goes, "I lost the light." So he wants to try it again now, and I had to get my bedroom. That was what I was doing. I'm like,
Oh.
I had to get my bedroom ready for
Yeah.
photography, and so it's like it almost looks like nobody lives there, and of course that's what you want it to look like,
Right.
you know.
In Boston, they'll list apartments, like, and they just have, because it's college kids, you know, it's just pictures like all this junk and unmade beds, and the landlords are just like, I'm taking pictures. I don't care. But they just get rented like that anyway. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not even going to think about it. I downloaded the pattern,
Yeah.
so I have it because I saw it and I went, I like that better than the mushroom run, and I really like that one. Although Pam went ahead and bought all the threads and the fabric that they have for it.
Mm-hmm.
The fabric they have for it is so gorgeous.
Mm.
And if you go look up Stitching in Atlanta Good Enough and look at one of her more recent videos, YouTube videos, she shows it. And the fabric is one of those printed fabrics, and it's got like little grasses and stuff on it, and it's so,
Oh, wow.
it's so pretty. But I'm not going to buy the fabric from them because I don't like waiting for things.
Mm.
I just realized that looks like a snowflake. No. Anyway,
It's really pretty.
and one of the reasons also why I like this is that in New Mexico, in southern New Mexico, can't you go see them?
Birds, yeah. At the Bosque del Apache, you can see migratory birds certain times of the year. You drive in, and if you're there at the crack of dawn, you can see them take off and stuff. It's
But
really
also,
beautiful.
there was a place that Mom and Dad used to drive by all the time that had cranes.
Mhm.
They're on, not Paso del Norte, but the other one.
They're such a
Montana?
The other
grace.
one that went across the river.
Yeah, Montana Bridge.
Yeah, Montana.
They're such a graceful bird.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
There
So
was like a kind of somebody's field or something, and they used to congregate there. You know.
Mm.
So yeah, certain times of year, you see all the cranes.
So
Is that
that's
you?
me. Yeah,
You go next.
that's
Yeah,
all I
you're
have.
next.
Okay. So I was been working on my camp project, which I finished. So I was doing, oopsie, Stacey Nash design, Calling of the Sea, the Ship, which is the third one here. And I finished it. I was almost finished last weekend, last Saturday. And I just had the little border around it to go. And so now it's finished. And this is 32 count Miranda Carré in Spa is the color. And it's all Weeks Dye Works threads. And now it's finished. It's really
Sorry. I know I'm making noise. I'm sorry.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty. I almost lost my mojo because all I had left to do was the border, and it's just, you know, all one color, and it's just a straight line basically. And I was like, I don't want to do it, just get it done. And so that's done. Yay. And then I started working on my WIP-GO, one of my WIP-GO calls for this month. My number 12 was Sheepish Manner. And I bought it as a little kit from the attic, I don't know, last year or something. I think it's from 2020, I think the instructions, the copyright list is listed on there. And it, like all of these, it's a Chessie and Me design. And all the Chessie and Me things have like some kind of specialty stitches on them. I did one called Under the Bow. It's a little bitty, little kind of pin key kind of thing that had, there was a cat sitting under a bough with acorns. And,
so descriptive.
Yeah. And the acorns, the little acorn cap had Smyrna crosses. But it was such a tiny fabric. And it was, I want to say it was a kit also. Maybe not, I don't know. But it was like one thread, you know, over two. And so the Smyrna crosses were so tiny, and the color of the thread was very close to the color of the fabric. And so I was like, I'm making it up because I can't tell what I'm doing. And so this design, this is almost finished. I've finished and almost finished and a restart. So this is almost finished. All I have to do for this one is finish the grass on this big patch here. I started doing it, but you know, I thought, that's enough of that. But this one has Smyrna crosses for the sheep's face and ears and legs and tail. And I thought, oh, that's easy enough. But it's very tiny, and it's all in black. And I thought,
you finished it.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Oh,
I
not
did the grass.
the grass.
Yeah, but so I did them on the sheep, and I was, I could kind of tell what I was doing, but I was kind of making it up.
Sorry, what's the even point of that? It's so tiny.
I don't know. And then the leaves on the tree are lazy daisies, and I started off on one bough, and I didn't like the look of them because, I thought, okay, I know how to make them basically, but I have a little plastic card that I got at Hobby Lobby that says it's like embroidery stitches or something like that, and so it has examples of all these different stitches. So I thought, well, that's really handy. I'll just hang on to that. But I went ahead and watched a couple of YouTube tutorials on how to do a lazy daisy stitch, just to make sure I understood. And so they were, making them. It looked like they were using like maybe all 6 threads of embroidery floss, thing.
You usually make them when you're doing
hand
embroidery.
Yeah, and so. But I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, it seems easy enough, and it came out with this really nice little, teardrop shape, and you don't want to pull it too tight, so you get this little teardrop shape. And then when I was doing it, they were some of them were coming out nice, and some of them were coming out really skinny, they just looked like 2 threads beside each other. And so, so one of the tutorials that I watched said something like there was 3 different ways to do a lazy daisy stitch. It didn't have anybody talking. It was just showing the 3 different ways. So one of them was the way that I'd seen in the other one, where you come up in one place and you go down in that same place, and then you make the little hook thing to secure it, right? And then another one was basically the same way. It's just that you do like. Anyway, it was the same way. But the third one was you make the little securing stitch first, and then you make the petal shape. You go underneath that one, and that's that's what I ended up doing. And so they're a little bit narrower than I would have liked. They're not quite as teardrop shaped, but they don't look like side by side straight stitches anymore. They look a little more, you can see the actual shape. So I'm taking it. And also the back is a little bit neater than it was when I was trying to do it. It was like coming out all goofy in the back. Some of the threads in the back were snug and some were loose, and some I kept getting it all tangled up and everything. So yeah, so I'm satisfied with it more. And this was a little kit with, it has I think this is legacy linen. I don't remember what the count is, but it's very tiny. And this came in the kit, and the threads came in it, and they're all Gloriana silks. So it's 1/2. And then it had also an alphabet, so you could put your initials. So my initials are in there. And then all it's left to do is the grass, which is just back and forth, whatever. But I finished the house. I finished all the little like Quaker kind of things, and so it's all but done. So, and if I have time, the rest of this month, I'll work on that some more and finish it, hopefully. And okay, and then. For my other WIP-GO pull was, sorry, show that, Prairie Schooler Starry Night. So originally one of my Starry Night things was to do the number 1, which is the first one in the list of patterns here, which was this one with Mary and Joseph and the city of Bethlehem. And so I started doing that, and I was doing it on 22 count Hardinger, and with 1 thread over 1, I think, and it was very tiny, but I was having trouble with the thread going underneath the weave of the fabric. So I restarted it, but I did I didn't restart number 1. I did number 2 instead, which is the donkey and the cow in the manger, and baby Jesus in the manger. So I did that and finished it. Let me pull this out of here. I finished it, I don't know, a couple months ago. It was on my WIP-GO, and I finished that up here. And so it's basically black, and there's a little bit of blue and the baby Jesus blanket, and then étoile I used on the star, and then I used some regular, I think 3820 is the DMC, this thread that I used for the cow's, I don't know, not necklace, rope. The bell, the cow has a bell. The bell is done in étoile, but the little rope around his neck is done just a regular DMC. Oh, yeah. And then the bridle on the donkey is done in regular DMC also. So for this one, I decided to redo the number 1, and so I started this the other day, yesterday. So this is just 2 days work of a restart of the Mary and Joseph in Bethlehem. So, and it's going really pretty quickly. So it's almost all, I think it's almost all black work, except for, again, the like stars and halo and stuff are going to be in étoile. And maybe the donkey bridle again will be in regular DMC. It's all DMC on this pattern. So yeah. And then actually I have 2 more charts that are like my secondary charts for these 2 WIP-GO numbers 12 and 15, and they're also charts out of this. So number 4 and number 7, which I decided were the city of Bethlehem, which is this one here, and then this one with the shepherd and the sheep down here. So those are the 2 that I'm going to start. So this one I have a goal of 7 days, so I'm pretty confident that I can finish it. And the other 2, I don't have a specific goal on them, but I have the whole rest of the month, so hopefully, I'm hoping I can get at least one of them finished. And maybe that sheepish manner finished. But yeah, that's me.
That's you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh wait, and this is 28 or 32 count.
I didn't realize I was going to move that gnome the whole time you were talking.
That I got it. I think I got it at Joann's. Yeah.
Sorry.
This little thing of fabric.
Well, Eve was talking. I thought, oh, when it's Beth's turn, I'm going to have to move that gnome out of the way. But I didn't, so.
It's too late
He
now.
was in your face the whole time. I'm sorry. Anyway, for
What else is
me,
new?
all I have worked on, I went to Albuquerque last weekend and I had fun. And I took this with me and I only worked on it one night while I was there. This is Hannah's graduation cardigan. I'm basically, I mean, like, if you measured it'd be like this much taller than the last time, but it's progressing slowly. She'll be 40 when I finish it, but that's happening there. And the reason she'll be 40 when I finish it because I keep distracting myself.
As is our way.
So I'm going to tell stories and my segment at the same time because while I was in Albuquerque, I went to a very nice brand new yarn shop called Mariposa Yarn Shop, yarn store, excuse me, and it's on the west side of Albuquerque. If you're there, you should go visit it. It's near Cottonwood Mall. And it was a really beautiful, clean space, super nice ladies there working, and we just chatted, and I told them I'd give them a shout out. So if you're watching, hi. And I bought this yarn. I was looking all over it, all their yarn. They had a really nice selection. And I saw this one lonely little ball of yarn sitting on the shelf. And I couldn't resist it. And I picked it up and carried it around, and it was the only one they had. They said that they had a bunch and it sold out. It's by, I don't know how to say it in French. It's an Italian yarn. This is Poema. I'll put a close-up of the label. And it's a, you go ahead and feel it. It's a single spun yarn.
Nice.
100% wool, I believe. Yeah. Muslin free wool. And it's a gradient that goes it straight from this cream to this dark. So it's not a repeat of, as far as I can understand, that's what they told me, that the colors don't repeat, it just goes light to dark. So, and it's a big ball, it's got 656 yards. So immediately, of course, who I think of, because I know as telling by the colors that she chose for her cardigan, somebody we know loves brown, and brown, and brown. So I got this, and I thought I'm going to make a neck down raglan top, maybe with some stitching, like a pattern here, with just cap sleeves, so I don't have to come back and do the sleeves in a different color. So that's what I'm thinking. If I do that, I mean, I'll probably have to come back and finish the sleeves, but it would be like, it would go from light all the way to dark down. So I'm looking for a pattern. If any of you know one, I would love to hear it in the comments. So what I'm really looking for is just a little cap sleeve top. so that I don't have to spend a lot of yarn on sleeves. So where we would do the raglan down to the top of the sleeve, where you would normally separate for the sleeves, but then not have to do a sleeve after that, and maybe just do an edging or something, which would be nice if this was in the light color and the edging was in this dark color at the end. And then that color would just blend all the way down. I think it would be really beautiful. So that's what I'm looking for this nice yarn. And while I was at my aunt's house, she had told me about this sweater a long time ago, but she always said, the next time you're there, I'm gonna, can you take this? She wanted to give it to me. And it's a sweater made by one of my aunts for my mom. And the aunt that made it passed away when we were very young, when I was very young. And I didn't know, I never saw my mom wear it. So I don't know how long my mom's other sister, there's a million sisters, so how long that it was in her possession.
I think I saw Grandma wear it a lot.
So, but this was made for our mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it is this, when she would describe it to me, my aunt would say, it's beige, but, which it is, it's like a cream color. And it's gorgeous.
When Naomi brought it over the other day, when she first pulled it out, it looked store-bought to me.
Yeah, it's really, I'm going to stand up a little bit. It's got these beautiful cables in it, and this eyelet pattern. Sorry. And the background stitch, I think, is like a seed stitch. And the buttons are, no, that's the buttonholes. The buttons are yarn covered. I don't know. There seems to be a button inside. I don't want to do too much to take it apart. The inside of the buttonhole placket is stabilized with a ribbon, which is common, so that keeps the buttonholes, firm. But this side isn't stabilized, and what I noticed when I laid it out is that this side, the button side, is elongated. So I'm gonna have to, oh, I'm getting it wet on this, on my drink. I'm gonna have to fix it. The first thing I'm gonna do, I bought a pill shaver. It's a little, not the electronic kind, but oh man, I wet it. My drink. It's like a little, it's almost like a little rake. And so I'm gonna have to go over inch by inch and take, because it's very pilled up. And then I'm going to, after that, wash it, soak it, and reblock it. And then after that, I think I'm going to re-sew, because the button placket, because it wasn't sewn down with the ribbon, there's little bits of thread. She used sewing thread to sew down the edge of the buttons. And the buttons are sewn through both layers, so it should be pretty easy to reblock it to the same size as the buttonhole placket. Oh man, I really wet it on that cup. Anyway, so this was kind of, at first when she brought it out, I was like, I'm not gonna take a sweater. I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm not gonna take a sweater home. And then she brought it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll take a look at it. And then I laid it on the bed, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a treasure. This beautifully hand knit. I mean, the details of it are just, it's so well done. I'm so pleased with it. And so I'm going to actually probably email one of my online, I call her mine, but an online knitting teacher named Roxanne Richardson that I follow. And I'm going to talk to her about the best way to fix the stretch in that placket, because I want to make sure that happens.
And my Aunt Eva, we always joked about, like, she had a little Volkswagen Bug, and always on the floor of the back seat was a ball of yarn rolling around back there.
My aunt that I stayed with was telling me that she used to knit in the movies, and she knit all the time. I'm like, she's my spirit animal.
She made Mom buy me all different colors of yarn, and she had this project in mind that she wanted me to do, because I was the only one of us three
I was young.
that
I
was
too
even
little.
interested.
Well, I was
I
gonna
was
say,
too,
but I don't think I consciously I had seen anything that she had ever knitted. I may have, because
Yeah,
you know, they
I mean,
were all around us, but
I have no memory
I
of
didn't
that
know
sweater.
that. Yeah, I didn't know that she had made
But I
that.
tried it on and it fits. So I'm excited about it.
And she always called me Eva.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm like, that'd be really nice. Actually, my office is inhumanely cold. And I'm thinking that would make a nice, I don't want to keep it at the office all the time, but it'd be nice to wear to the office. The other thing I have out here is this. I've had this, I've talked about this before, and it came up on my Facebook memories, and I was dismayed to find out that I bought this fiber, I think it was 4 years ago. Might have been 5, I can't remember now, but it was many years. This is fiber from a flock of Jacob sheep that used to live here in Arizona. They've since moved to Colorado, so we can no longer get their fleece. But I purchased an entire year's fleece from this one sheep named Naomi, because why not? And it was the last year we were going to be able to have it, and I thought, they said you can have the whole fleece. It was, cleaned. I didn't get the fleece straight off the sheep. They processed it at the mill, but they saved a part, because one of the things they do is one of the things that the farm at the end of the road does, and Holatunis does, is they keep sheep specific fleece together, so they don't blend it all into one big vat. So I was able to get all of Naomi's fleece for that year. It's, I think, 15 bumps like this. And when I saw that, I think I told you I recently started spinning again, just picked it back up. I was like, when I saw that in my Facebook memories, I'm like, okay, that's enough. I gotta do this. Oh, and I also saw a video of a woman who has like 4 alpaca, like in 2 or 3 different colors. I think I sent it to you on Instagram. And it shows her shearing the alpaca, cleaning the fleece, skirting the fleece, which, you have to clean, wash it and soak it, and then skirting it means, well, first you skirt it, then you wash it. Skirting it, you put it on a mesh and you pick out all the like small cuts, and you pick out all the dirt, the big dirt you can see, and then you soak it and wash it, and then you basically card it, which means you comb it so that all the fibers go in the same direction, and you spin it up into yarn, and then she knit herself a 3 different colored sweater. It is gorgeous. It's alpaca. Oh, gorgeous. So I was watching that, and I'm like, and that coincided with the memory, and I'm like, So I really want to start. I don't have anything on my big spinning wheel right now, so I'm going to start, because I've been waking up at ungodly hours, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I go in Hannah's room, and I'm wanting to do stuff, and I'm like, it's really a nice time of day to spin. So I'm going to start spinning this once and for all.
Like Rumpelstiltskin.
What?
Like
yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to, I still have dreams of doing one of those circular sweaters. What are they called? They're called, oh, I can't think of the name of them. Oh, I have it in here. They are called, sorry.
Talk amongst yourselves.
No, because I've had it, and I bought the book. Oh yeah, Knit Swirls, what they're called. And there's a whole bunch of sweaters in the line of in her line, and this is the cover of the book. and Sandra McIver is her name, and she has these patterns that are knit basically from the outside in a circle, and then you I don't understand how it's going to be an adventure, and then you knit the sleeves and as you're knitting it, and then you basically sew one long seam like this across the back and the other arm, and this is one seam in the sweater. And I have thought about this long and hard. I've dreamt about it for years and years. Depending on the type of yarn I wind up spinning, the thickness of it would depend on which one I make. But here's another shot of a one color sweater. So what it is like, it kind of has a flare to the back of it, and you literally knit it in a circle. Mm-hmm. So it's literally a circle with arms, and then you sew one seam or one or two seams down. And so my thought is, I have another bunch of wool that is light gray. It's a Cotswold. It's beautiful. And so my thoughts are, I would alternate, because I think I have exactly 1/3 of bumps of the Cotswold as I do of this, although I might have spun one up already. And I thought I could do alternating, because these are knit in welts. So you knit like 4 or 5 rows, and then you purl 4 or 5 rows, and what happens is it does this on the circle. So that's what's caused those ridges that you see in the pictures. And so I thought I could alternate the dark with the light, with the dark with the light, until I run out of the light, and then make the center of the jacket, the center of the sweater, black, just the dark. That's what I have in my brain. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, it's one of those lifetime projects. Maybe I'll get to it one day. And maybe one day I'll finish Hannah's sweater. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I just keep getting distracted and keep,
I was watching
doing things like that.
I was watching a YouTube that she called it something or other, but shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah,
that's
SOS. Something else, but SOS, a shiny object syndrome.
I do that, but I mean, I do get things done. It just takes me a while because I just have like a stack.
You mean like downloading a pattern that I have absolutely no way to start working?
Well, I know, and I want to. Sometimes I get paralyzed actually because I have so much to do, and I feel this pressure.
Well, that's why I have WIP-GO,
like,
because I have so many projects that.
Yeah, I should do something like that. Maybe not as formal, but just have like, kind of rotate around my old WIPs. But right now, I've had less and less time to. I won't say I have less time. I've taken less time to be knitting. So I need to focus on that more and really take some time and effort to do that. Just because, I need to organize myself.
So, I think it might have been Pam, the Stitching in the Land of Goodman. Mm-hmm. Rather than WIP-GO, she picked 12 projects that she wanted to be able to put her hands on, right? And she just would concentrate on one of those for half a month, and then put it away and take the next one for half a month. And in that way, she said, I know that I've done something, but it's not an arbitrary, whatever comes up. She decides,
I'm going to do this for now.
Yeah. I don't know that she's doing that this year. I think it was last year that she was doing that. But I was like,
that's a good idea.
Well, I think that's why so many things like WIP-GO, like challenges, like using the decision roulette wheel thing, that people are, put something in there because because they get overwhelmed with, they have all this project and that project and that, and then can't decide what to do. Some people do, you know, just, what is it? There's some acronym, but it's stitch what I want, when I want, or whatever. And that's good if you know, you say, today I feel like working on this.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do.
Yeah. And so, you know, either way, you know, any of those things can work, but it's a matter of
The problem with
deciding
stitch what I want when I want is that you forget something. You know, if you liked something well enough
To start it.
to
Buy it.
get the pattern, get the fabric, get the threads, and start it, and then you just forget that it's there because there was something else that you started, and it's not because you dislike it. You know, I bought a snowman kit to do for Christmas in July or something like that, and I like it. I just keep forgetting to work on it.
Yeah.
And so I think I put it on this year's WIP-GO. I don't know, but it's like one of those things where it's like, am I actually going to work on that if I don't have something telling me
what to do?
Yeah.
Roxanne Richardson does, and people on like that follow her in her Ravelry group. She does finish it February, and so as February approaches, she pulls out all her WIPs and decides, I'm going to finish that, I'm not going to finish that, or you know, starts to make plans. And then in February, she at least works toward finishing most things, you know, that on that list. And it also helps her weed through things where she'll decide, I am never going to finish this. I don't like it. I stopped. And she's pretty monogamous. Well, she says that she's very self-analytical. And she says she knows that she'll run out of steam on a project after 3 weeks. And if it takes longer than 3 weeks, a lot of times she'll evaluate if she even wants to start it. But she takes a knitting pattern and somehow on a spreadsheet, like maps out exactly how many stitches, and she knows how much she can knit a day, and she knows exactly how many days it's going to take. I'm like, ooh, that's not me. But but I mean, that's what she does for her job. Is she, you know, she's on YouTube and she can knit literally all day. So, but then she has things that are taking longer, and she'll she'll finish a sweater up to the button, plaque it, and she doesn't want to deal with it, so she'll put it away. And then so in Finish It February, she lines all those up and then works toward getting those.
Well, and I think
it's a great idea. I've thought about doing that.
On Stitching with the Housewives, I don't know if they still do it, but she used to have different prompts basically for the days of the week. So something that started with I can't remember what she did, but there was one kind of category on Mondays and something on Tuesdays, and so that different days of the week.
It's good to have an external system to help you.
Because that gets you to work on something that otherwise, like you said, you like it well enough, but because you got distracted by other things, you forget that you have this thing. And like for me, what I've been doing right now, excuse me, is that I had a whole bunch of WIPs that were on my WIP-GO for the last 2 or 3 years, I guess. And then, because I would make some progress on them, but they were all pretty good sized projects. And and some of them, were close to being finished, but not really, and so they were on my WIP-GO chart and they would come up, but then because I had so many WIPs, but then B also I think that the last year, not this year, but last year, I guess, I think it was, that I had an FFO something that was finished but needed to be FFO'd, and then I had my WIPs, and then I also put in a new start because I had a whole bunch of charts that I really liked that I hadn't started.
Yeah.
So I started them and I did just a little bit, like 1 or 2 days on each one as it came up.
Yeah.
So this year I put all my old WIPs. I just set them aside, and all those new starts are the new WIPs that I'm doing this year. So and then I have also my secondary charts, which are either things that I have done just a little bit on, or some that like these that are new starts. So and I'm still haven't even touched the surface of all the charts that I have.
Nope, more fine.
There's, like somebody said, there's a 2 different categories. There's the chart you want to start, and the chart you want to collect.
Yeah. I guess so. Last year, 2023, I made a WIP-GO list, and I ignored it all year. But when I made it, it helped me to go through all my WIPs, and I did get rid of some, reevaluated some.
Yeah.
And then the other day, when I cleaned Hannah's room, and I kind of reorganized my box to some degree. I went through some of my WIPs at that time too, and I still have way too many, but I don't know. I try not to have them fill me with guilt, which is what happens. And then I want to do something, but then I feel guilty because I have all these other things. So
I know somebody who was talking about how she doesn't like to have more than X number of WIPs, and so she wants to finish this and that and this, so she doesn't have too many to carry into the next year. And I'm like, I can't even do that.
I know, and I think about that too. I'm like, when I made that little red, I got distracted because every summer I wind up making Hannah a top. Should I just plan for it? I should just plan for it. Every summer, I wind up making her a top. I mean, but I always allow it to interrupt whatever I'm doing because I'm like, oh, it's summer. I'm going to make Hannah a top. And then I get so focused. Remember that red thing? You can see it grow every week, right? But then, something like this, I think part of the problem with this project is that I need this chart. I have to be sitting. I have to be focused. I have to, pay attention, which means I can't sit and watch TV, and I can't be sleepy. I can't, so there's very few times. I don't even take it to work anymore. Yeah. Because I used to take it to work, but at lunch, unless I sit alone at my desk, everybody wants to talk to you, and you should talk at lunch, right? In the lunch club, as I call it. And you want to be social. So I don't want to, sit and knit, and I only don't have that much time. Well, so I think that's part of why this is going so slow.
This summer, since we're planning to sell the house, I may pick up what was on WIP-GO, but I don't even count how many days because I don't care. Because I may get to work on stitching 10 minutes because I'm packing and cleaning and cleaning and packing. Yeah. So I'm not even going to try to get that goal because my goal is to stitch something for some part of the day. Right. And so I'm not going to worry about it. And I have those patterns that I started around market, and I really want to finish those. I think about them every day, but I put them away for a reason. I'm going to concentrate on my temperature stuff. I'm going to concentrate on the current WIP-GO project, and I'm going to concentrate a little bit on cross stitch camp. And that's what I have to work on, because otherwise.
Well, you know what else is really easy to forget? And I know I forget it.
What?
This is for enjoyment.
Yeah.
It should not ever fill us with guilt. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I'm like, this is, and I realize, you know, like, there are days when I don't knit a stitch, and I don't feel like it is just so, it's releasing to me. It's stress relieving, and it's part of just what I love. So I want to release the guilt. Release the guilt. And just, you know, I know that, like, when I say to Hannah, I'm sorry, it's taking so, she says, no sorry, Mom. No sorry.
Yeah.
And I love that about her, that she never wants me to feel that way, and she just is appreciative of whatever and everything. So it makes it a little easier, but yeah. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's self-imposed.
It's self-imposed guilt.
Yeah.
I know, that's what's so crazy. So, yeah. So
Yeah,
releasing
so
it.
like I said,
Releasing it.
and I have the disadvantage of where I stitch out in the main room. Beth stitches in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And so Robert will go, why are you doing that instead of... And I'm like...
Because I need a minute. Yeah.
And lately he's like, go do... I'm like, no. I'm not doing that. But honestly, we're like...
Yeah, it's good.
This close.
Yeah.
And I have all the stuff packed that I'm going to pack of my stuff, and you know, that kind of thing. So I'm going to work on it when I can, but I'm going to also make sure I can help Robert take pictures.
Yeah.
But I don't want to feel guilty about sitting and working on it.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to him about that once. I said, I sit down to work on something and I cannot concentrate on it because I know how many other things I have to do.
Yeah.
I said, but if you come out here and you lay on the couch and you decide to take a nap, I'm not going to bug you about it.
Right.
You have other things to do. We all have
Yeah.
other things to do. And that's part of growing up is, you know, figuring out your time
Yeah.
so that you can do the things you have to do, but also do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm still not done with this turtle.
I finished a row. I finished a row. Release the guilt. I finished a row. But, well, I have got to get things in order, and I have a bunch of boxes for you back in my car.
Yeah.
I forgot that they were back there. And we have orchestra starting this week. I cannot believe
I
it.
can't believe we're starting this.
My
week.
birthday was this past week.
Oh yeah,
And
it was your birthday.
tomorrow, one of my gifts was my my son's girlfriend paid for us to go
Painting with a twist.
painting with a twist. Yeah, to go do a black light painting there. And I'm so excited,
Fun.
especially since all of my drawing stuff is put away, all of my painting stuff is put away. It's not even just put away; it's not in the house, you know.
Yeah.
And this is my art expression that I'm allowed right now, and most of that is put away,
Yeah.
not put out of the house, put away, because I'm like, if I need a thread, I need all of those if I can go look. But I am so looking forward to that, and I got a flamingo blanket, and I wasn't going to open it. It was sealed and it was nice and neat, and I thought it'll be better if I just don't open this and put it, you know, somewhere so that
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not packing any other boxes to go out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm just not. So I'm going to open it,
It's so cute.
and it's on my bed.
Rachel gave it to her. It's so cute with a bunch of flamingos and funny sayings.
Yeah, it's on my bed, but I put a comforter over it so Robert could take a picture because it's too personal. But it's so soft.
And so your doggy don't
so
chew it.
soft. Yeah. So
Well, that's going to be fun. And we're going to go see a movie tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Except for her, because she's boring.
Ooh.
So another one.
Whatever. But,
Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be good.
So
It'll be a good weekend.
I'm looking forward to, and that's why we're filming today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, the symphony season is getting going. We have an event where we present stuff to like ASU students. So they have like a welcome back to school thing, and we're gonna have a table, and so that'll be fun.
Robert did that. He's been working nights, and I saw him up fairly early on Monday, and I said, "What are you doing? Why are you up so early?" Because he'd come in at 7 or something like that, 8:30, and it was like 9, and he's like, "I promised the coach at Poston that I would help him talk to people about wrestling."
Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to do that Sunday night. And we divided up the weekends after work. So now I know the weekends, at least through New Year's, that I have to work. And so it's nice as there's 4 of us rotating, and it'll be good. I'm kind of excited about the season starting.
Yeah, I got my tickets in the mail the other day.
And what did you think of the portfolio?
I didn't look at it. I just...
Somebody in this room worked very hard on that ticket portfolio.
I just stuck the envelope in my...
I can't believe you didn't even look at it.
Well, I wanted to put the envelope somewhere where I wouldn't lose the tickets because
That's what the portfolio's for. To hold your tickets.
Because the thing that I used to keep them in is packed away. So I was like, where can I put this where I won't lose it? Yeah.
No, but so part of my job, I helped to create a subscriber portfolio. So it's a special folder where you can keep your tickets.
Uh-huh.
You didn't even open the envelope?
No, I didn't.
It looks like $1 million. You gotta look at it. I wish.
Have you gotten any comments on it?
Only one person who said, well, so part of it is restaurant discounts in the area. All these restaurants are in Phoenix, I live in Scottsdale. Or I live in somewhere else. I'm like,
Oh my gosh!
come downtown. Oh, no. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was that her tickets were for one of the series that's only in Scottsdale, which I understand. But sorry, we're trying. But
It's
anyway,
like that woman that when I used to work in Family Life, they called about her kids were coming from out of town, and her son and his fiance were coming from out of town, and they were trying to go to this conference, and the conference was full, and there was a waiting list, but so I was trying to tell her, well, that conference is full, and she goes, but they've already taken off from work, and they're coming from out of town, and they have a hotel, blah, 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 blah. So okay, so I talked to the girl who was managing the wait list, and she goes, yeah, we could squeeze them in. So I, went to talk to her, and so she's, was going to register them, and so I was, making accounts for each of them with their address, and they were like in, Mesa and Chandler or something like that. It's like, that's Phoenix.
it's the same thing.
It's the same
I
town.
can just go home.
I was laughed in her face. I was like,
Coming from out of town. Well, people who don't live there don't.
Well,
don't- I
Aunt
mean, don't
Alice
live
used
here.
to stop and spend the night at my house in Chandler because it was too far to go to Peoria.
I know.
It's like,
It's an hour. It is an hour.
it is, and she's been driving, already.
It's funny.
But I was just like,
It's not that far. But anyway, yeah. Go home and open your portfolio. I wanted to hear your reaction to it. It's great. So it's like your subscriber portfolio, and you open it up, and there's welcome to the family, and here's a QR code to the subscriber webpage, and here's all the tips for a great season, like order your drink ahead of time for intermission, and here's where the bathrooms are, and if you have to exchange your tickets, give us a call. And then on the other side, there's all the contact information for the box office in case you need to exchange your tickets. And then we have a little bag policy and a thing about our gala in there, just a little insert. And then behind all that, and the tickets are in a little pocket. and behind that there's a little, make sure you follow us on social media and post your pictures, and then there's tucked into the front of the pocket is your subscriber card, your subscriber benefit card, which if you gets you the discount at restaurants, and then also we're going to have some subscriber events, and so that's your ticket in.
Oh.
And I did it. Well, I didn't design it, but it was my concept, and I created the mock-up for it, and then our designer designed it, and then when we got it back from her, I was like, oh, it's like when your baby's born and they're actually cute. You know, because you might have an ugly baby, and no one's going to tell you if you do, right?
Yeah, so
you're like,
like a square-headed baby.
Yeah, it's actually cute. So, yeah. So, if you didn't even open it.
Well, so you know, when you were talking about Robert taking photographs of the house, I was like, you know, my pet peeve going through this process, you know, when you look at pictures of people put all these pictures online now. And so, you know, you go through and you look at a house and you're like, oh, okay, that one looks good. It's just, you know, 3 bedrooms, blah, blah, blah. And
I'm sorry, this is like in your face.
It always, well, it matches my shirt.
Oh.
It always makes me crazy when you're looking at pictures and the toilet is open.
Yeah.
I was like, that's one of my pet peeves. Like, close the toilet. I don't want to see the inside of your toilet. I don't want to see
look at apartments in Boston. Oh. It would drive me nuts. Like clothes all over the floor, beds all in.
There was some house I was looking. There was some house I looked at where, you know, there was all kinds of stuff, and I thought, okay, well, they were in the process of moving, right? So you kind of, you know, some people I can kind of understand. You know, there's a whole pile of boxes or things, you know, but it looked like a hoarder house.
Yeah.
Because there were some boxes, but then like there was just, you know, stuff all over the counters and stuff here and stuff there, and then the pictures of the backyard, there was crap all over, you know, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a hoarder house. I don't live there. But when I was in Little Rock, there was some account that I followed at the time that was like pictures of bad houses or something like that. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, there's some real estate, like,
but it was like
where they post pictures that are up on real estate sites. Like, look at this crazy house kind of thing.
So, but these were like, you know, tear down houses, or houses that were torn up inside, or houses that were, I guess, that they were trying to sell that were just like, you know,
destroyed.
And like where they would say like, oh, ready for you to renovate or something like that. Like, yeah, that's code word for this is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And some of them were just horrible. Like, because in Little Rock especially, there's a lot of old houses, like Victorian, turn of the century, or craftsman cottages or whatever, that are just torn up inside because they've been rental properties or they've been whatever, and so they're just like horrible. Yeah. So, but it's funny because you look at them and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, well, I'm gonna go. Yes. I gotta go get some things done, and I guess I gotta feed people dinner. I expect it every day. Every day. So. Thanks for joining us for another week. We're so glad you're here. Oh, I almost forgot. If you're here this long and you haven't subscribed, you ought to be a subscriber if you've stuck with us for an hour. We're
very close.
At 493. And we really want to get to 500. And if we get to 500, we'll throw a party. And we usually have giveaways and fun things like that. So please think about subscribing and tell your friends. And thanks again to Mariposa Yarn Store. That was a lot of fun. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.